Warmer, sunnier days are calling. Fuel up for them with Factor's no prep, no mess meals.
Meet your wellness goals in time for summer thanks to the menu of chef-crafted meals with options like Protein Plus and Keto.
Head to factormeals.com/goodchildren50 and use code goodchildren50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next box.
That's code goodchildren50 at factormeals.com/goodchildren50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. Is it ever shocking to you how much liquid that you can fit in your mouth?
What do you mean? A lot?
Yeah, it's just kind of like the circumference of my mouth is like really big.
Well, what else can you fit in your mouth?
Probably at least a full sandwich, but I'm talking like normal bread,
Like on like a white bread, sliced bread situation.
Sliced bread,
a white
like
slice.
Two slices.
You're saying you could fit the whole thing in your mouth at once?
I think I can fit the whole thing in my mouth at once.
Yeah, I could. Like, are you folding and like?
I think I'm shoving.
You have to like shove and then cruck.
I think it's shove and like crinkle, or like kind of.
You're folding it inwards into itself.
Yes, but there can be nothing hard on it. So like if you're thinking
like there's no potato chip.
No potato chip, and definitely not the crease of the romaine. You know exactly what I mean with the vein of the lettuce.
Sometimes that vein could be too much in my mouth.
It's sometimes like, stop watering the lettuce.
You think it's too hydrated? Is that the problem?
Yeah, because it's thick. It's veiny.
What else?
What else can I fit in my mouth? I do believe someone's fist.
Not your own?
Maybe not mine. Yours could get crazy. I think probably about 6 popsicles
at once.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe like a large kielbasa sausage.
Large kielbasa. Yeah, large kielbasa. Chipotle-sized burrito.
You're kidding now. Now you're being crazy.
I know I'm being crazy. But if it's soft,
you're doing the shove it. But you think you'd choke to death? You think you'd CTD?
I'm sorry, that was not a part of it. Like, yeah, I might shove it in my mouth, but I might die.
Oh, so it's just about it's not about swallowing. It's all about just getting it in the mouth.
Sometimes it's not about swallowing.
Right. It honestly, it doesn't have to be.
It's just about getting it in the mouth.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you for educating me on that, actually. I really appreciate that.
You're really welcome.
Good children. Hey guys, and welcome back to Good Children, the podcast where hosts Joe Hegyes
and Andrew Muscarella reflect on their 23 years of friendship,
growing up in the late 2000s,
early 2010s,
and all of the nostalgia,
trauma,
and prides that go along with it.
Woo!
Happy Pride!
We're really giving pride.
We're giving
today.
pride down, yeah.
But you know what it is about? Sometimes pride, it's not about what you wear.
It's about who you are. It's about who you are deep down.
Yeah.
Underneath all that. And it's so garbage.
Yeah, I might look like Shrek, but when you realize some people want to fuck Shrek
so badly, and it hasn't ended. I was actually just doing some researching the other night
about Shrek,
like Shrek porn.
Is there a lot of things that pop up?
There's a lot. It's definitely a kink for people, and I guess it's a kink for me in some ways because I'm just so curious. I want to see more.
Are you like looking for a specific body part, or like you want to see the whole image?
I want to see the whole ogre.
I know exactly what you mean by that.
Like if it was just like a green dick.
But the thing about Shrek, it's like he not hairless?
He's hairless, but like it's kind of fine because he's an ogre, you know.
You're
like
right.
It's kind of like I can give or take.
Hairless but still stinky.
Yeah, I just feel like maybe something about that first Shrek movie, like there is a moment where you see his butt, and I feel like maybe that did something to me. It's like maybe that like imprinted on me.
I would say that you got this from something, right? Somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
I think today we're going to be talking about all things Pride.
Yeah, and just kind of, keeping it light.
Because I will say, and we've said this before, we've tried a Pride episode for the past 2 years. No, the first year.
We did one last year.
We did do one last year, but the first year Pride episode was lost.
Because I was just so
miserable. It was lost on us. We were not at a place yet to talk about Pride.
Because the problem is, when you talk about Pride as two white gay men, we are not the mouthpieces for the Pride movement. There are plenty of important people, BIPOC, who are actually like sharing information that's important and like contributing growth into the world and educating people, like, which shouldn't even be their responsibility, but thank God they're doing it. They do that for us.
Yes.
For people like me and Andrew who rode the waves of white mediocrity all the way to the top.
And all the way to the Lady Gaga boats.
And all the way to the bottom.
Yeah.
How many people died?
Don't do this to me on the podcast.
I want you to just tell me how many people died at Stonewall.
Not on a worldwide podcast.
Just give me the answer. And it could be like in the 0 to 10, the 10 to 15. Just like give me a general range. 2. Nobody died at Stonewall.
See, that was my initial guess, but the thing is, like, when you ask me how many people died at Stonewall, I freak out. This sucks. You know what sucks? Is like when you take a test, I think when you take a test and you circle your answer and then you erase it at the last minute because you like had that slight impending doom and doubt.
Go with your gut.
And
that's what Pride's all about, is going with your gut.
But I mean, if we were to be going with our gut, we'd be dead. So,
what does Pride mean to you, Andrew?
I think over the years, you know, I've learned that Pride means for me, one, even just seeing in the past 5 years of being out, crazy. I mean, like, come on. People think I've been out for 20.
But that's still kind of a lot.
Yeah. Again, we all know I was very flamboyant. I was very gay.
Do those comments bother you?
No, but it's also at the same exact time, like, I've been out for 5 years, right? But then I'll have that conversation with people and they're like, yeah, but I'm like, no, because who I was before I came out was still such a like not repressed, but it was repressed. It was like, I'm getting away with this. It was a different feeling than when you actually come out. You
weren't
feel
joyous.
Different.
You were like still shameful, even though you couldn't hide who you were.
So those comments don't bother me when I'm getting like on TikTok or Instagram. But when I'm like talking to a friend, I'm like, I wouldn't say that. I've been out for 5 years. Yeah. Whatever. But I think Pride means to me, it's just I'm very comfortable. Feeling comfortable, feeling like you know who you are or where you're going, and finding like allowing yourself to find the people that you resonate with. Yeah. And I think that's what's so beautiful. I've never been to the Pride Parade, but I think what's so beautiful about Pride events or Pride, you know, things that you show up for is like you are with everybody. It's not just the night at $3 bill.
Well, that's kind of the whole thing. And I think that's also, part of why the first time we did this episode didn't work, is because we didn't really understand that. No. Like, I felt like Pride, like my perception of, there is like the most pink wash version of Pride, which is like the Fire Island gays, whatever. But like there is community for everyone within Pride. And I feel like a lot of people in our positions typically fail to uphold that or adhere that for other people.
For sure.
And I feel like that's the main issue there. And I think in an ideal world, Pride does just mean everyone's welcomed in. We're not having fucking debates over what identities are valid, over what genders are allowed into the club. Like,
Pride is about feeling comfortable. Pride's about feeling
comfortable.
Cozy with who I am, comfortable in my skin. So,
are you?
What?
Are you comfortable in your skin?
Well, yeah, I'm definitely comfortable in my skin. I might be crawling out of it right now after that question. Right. But I definitely feel like the 28 years of this long, illustrious. Yeah. I took a page from your book.
I was going to say illustrious before you even said it. I was kind of gagged just now.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Yeah. Like, you haven't heard that word out of my mouth. This long, illustrious 28 years of life has allowed me to find comfort in my skin and learn to love it. It's been tough. Mm-hmm. Have there been times that I wanted to jump out of it?
Like you just said a few seconds ago, right now.
Crawl out, yeah. Well, crawl and jump is different.
Those are different for you?
Crawl is slow. I'm crawling.
Oh, you're slowly crawling out of your skin right now.
Yeah, because I'm like, oh my God. But then there's something about a crawl that sometimes you actually just decide, I'm good. Enough crawling.
Oh, wow.
Jumping, though, out of your skin is one swift motion. It happened.
Okay.
I'm out.
Right.
No going back.
Okay.
So yeah, I feel more confident in my skin.
That's great. I definitely feel more confident as a gay person.
Yeah.
You know, I think that is definitely, I've definitely locked in as a homosexual in the past couple of years.
Yes.
But I do think it's, I mean, we talk about it all the time, but I think it's very fascinating that for a very long time, it's the idea that coming out is the end of that story is literally insane, because it's genuinely day one of a long road of unlearning and processing like so many things that you were taught to believe, or you taught yourself to believe forever.
It is nuts. And it is all dependent too on like where you're at, what city you're in, who you're surrounding yourself with. You know, if I stayed in Boston, and again, Boston gays, it's a completely different group of people, but we all identify similarly. If you're gay, if you're lesbian, if you're trans, if you're whatever, you identify. I guess this is why I can't speak on pride.
This is not the point of the episode.
I know it's not.
The episode is not for us to become the mouthpiece for pride. Again,
talking about Boston.
Let's actually switch things up this week. Let's start with some calls. And let's just like bounce back and forth between the calls, us.
Great.
So we had some faggots and some lesbians and some queers send in some messages. I'll never say the slur for lesbians, even though some people do. Did you think I was about to?
I was really worried that you were going to say that.
Never mind.
Hi, I'm Robin, and I'm trans, but I dress more feminine, and I'm gay, and everyone thinks that my boyfriend is in a straight relationship. How do I make people think I'm more gay? Because I'm sure you guys know how to be gay. That's pretty obvious. Okay, love you. Bye.
Robin read us down.
Robin read us for filth in a way that I wasn't expecting to start the episode.
How do you present as gay? Tie a pride flag around your neck, like a little cape.
But I think that's the whole point. I think that's like why
people need like the pride merch.
Yeah, it's like, I'm gay, and I think that's what it is. People want to wear a rainbow. They think that that's the way to show people that you're gay.
And for some people, it very much is. Yeah. I mean, I understand that. Obviously, I don't think that's Robin's issue. Otherwise, I think Robin would have the answer for themselves. But I feel like
but it's not on you.
It isn't on you.
I don't think it's on you to let other people know that you're gay or you're gay.
But if they
enough.
want to indicate to people, I saw a tweet recently or a TikTok that was like, we need to bring back hanky code, because I can no longer tell the difference between like a lesbian, a gay man, a straight person, and a straight girl. Like everyone's dressing, all the straight people are dressing so queer now that like there's nothing to indicate if someone's actually gay or not, which is true.
Oh, for sure.
I think worry less about letting other people know, to your point, about you, and worry more about dressing to who you are authentically. Yeah. And I think it'll even itself out.
And I also think that as you start feeling more, this actually recently just happened to me. Well, not in the same vein as Robin, and Robin, I want to let you know that. But this past weekend.
Did you get told you were straight?
Yes.
Well, Andrew, that person was crazy.
Well, that person was older.
Yes.
And I was with like another girl, and she was like, you guys are such a cute couple. And I didn't even say anything. And that was what I recognized in that moment.
But you just were like...
I could have just been like, oh, that's so funny that you say that, because I'm actually gay.
But instead you said...
But I was like and we both looked at each other and were like, that's crazy. And we like walked away from the table. But I think in those moments too, it's like, people are going to assume something about you. They're going to assume that you're in a straight relationship. They're going to assume maybe that you're not trans. They're going to assume things that you know and you believe are not true because they're not true. But it is also about feeling comfortable in saying like, no, I'm actually gay, or I'm actually trans, or because in that moment I held myself back for being like, oh, I actually can feel comfortable in this space and not
it
like,
is
have to
crazy
leave
because
the
it's
table.
like it is crazy how uncomfortable it makes you to be assumed straight. I mean, I can't think of the last time it happened to me, but it does. Like, it's jarring.
Yeah, because I wasn't wearing I was wearing an outfit that wasn't like, oh, you're not wearing a skirt. Like, it's like some people's ideas of what gay is or what being queer is like.
You can't hide that face.
I can't hide this face.
You can't hide that face.
I can't hide this lip filler.
No.
You know what I mean? I can't hide the Botox on my face.
You can't make those jokes because it's just you add fuel to the fire that you have lip filler.
I know. It's like so dumb. I like love it though. Go for it. Go for it.
How long have you been getting lip filler?
I've been getting lip filler, I think since, well, my parents started taking me when I was 7.
Right.
So that's when you look at pictures.
And why was that again?
Because I said to them, I was like, Mom,
insecurities.
I had some insecurities. Yeah, I was like, I want bigger lips. Like, I just felt like it would fill out my face better. And does it not?
It does. And I think that like more parents need to take their kids to get injectables at a younger age, like to avoid that. Because growing up insecure, especially about your lips, is a really hard thing to do.
It's so hard.
And it's brave of you to come out and talk about this.
Thank you.
We're doing that social cut and I'm going to put pictures of you and I want to just see where it goes.
I'm so scared, you guys.
I want to just see where it goes. With like pictures of you as a kid. If you can't tell that when whatever, we're just going to see what happens.
We're going to see what happens. And if we come back on the podcast in a week from now and things get really
on Fox
crazy.
News.
But did we answer Robin's question?
Yeah, lean into who you are. Lean into who you are. Don't worry about what anyone else thinks about you. And if they think that your boyfriend is straight, let them think your boyfriend is straight.
Yeah.
It's
and people know we're gay. Like, it's, yeah, do we have the expertise on being gay? No, but like, are me and Joe very comfortable with each other, being able to speak how we speak, dress how we dress, like perform the way we perform? Yeah. And if that's seen as being very gay, it is. But like, that's our form of feeling comfortable.
Right.
So just be comfortable.
Hey guys. So I love the pod, first off. I'm so excited to do this. I'm starting an internship soon. And I'm a silly goose. Like, I cannot be taken seriously. Like, you know, I can. I'm very serious. I mean, I'll do my shit, you know. But I'm just like, what are your thoughts on corporate culture / professionalism and like it's deep rooted in like classism and like racism and things like that. But like, I just was wondering, do you have any tips for, you know, someone who might struggle with professionalism or corporate culture, like things like that? And what are your views on it? Like, what are your thoughts on professionalism? Like, is it like out or like, you know, should we like change it up? Should we move forward just taking people as they are, you know? And yeah, that's my question. Hope to see you on the pod.
I think that I have a very skewed perception of what corporate life was because of, you know, where I worked. But I think that obviously I'm somebody who always enters a space being professional. My mom always taught me that even on the first day of school, don't talk too much.
Yeah.
Raise your hand. Be professional. You want to make a good impression. So I always have made good impressions in every space that I've entered. Obviously, as I start to feel more comfortable, I sometimes do lose sight of what is professional and what is not. I can also recognize that I have gotten away with a lot for being gay in a workplace, and that being deemed as I'm the company's morale.
Yeah.
Booster.
Yeah.
Cheerleader.
Personality hire.
Yeah. Correct. So I think that when it comes to professionalism and when you're entering this new space, it's like there's a really fine line you can walk.
Yeah. I feel like for me, I remember when I started my first job, it was at Newsday, which I interned at. And I started working there when I was still in the closet. Well, not really, but I started working there when I was like less ready to be gay. And then I like got my full-time job there post-graduation, and I was really concerned about that because I was like, this is not who I am. Like, I can't like show up in a shirt and tie every day and like wear jeans on casual Friday and like talk to these like people who are like 30 years my senior who like don't get me. And like I was also 21 at this time. Like I felt like I was like, this is prison. Like if I do this job, like I'm never going to feel comfortable being gay. I'm never going to feel comfortable in this workspace because I'm not like, I wasn't ready for it. And the professionalism of it all was like kind of choking me out.
Yeah. Then
I switched to BuzzFeed, and that definitely, to your point about like not having any framework for what a corporate company is. I mean, it was like if you could get an award for sucking cock, BuzzFeed would give it to you, like Absolutely. At a team all hands.
Yep.
I mean, I think something that always gave me joy, and I worked after that like at like a white glove management company, and this was like 2019, but like I remember the first time in that company where I was like, I think this is slay.
Yeah.
And like I could like see the eyes kind of widen around me of like people who had never heard that in a workplace before. Yeah. But then like could give it 2 weeks and everyone's like, do you think this is slay? And like once the slay approval is on it, it was fine to go.
So true.
So it's like just be yourself.
Yeah.
No matter what.
It is hard. And now I'm recognizing like I worked at the New York Stock Exchange.
Right.
Like I was surrounded by straight fathers in investment banking.
Yeah, you can't be yourself.
You really like, you can't be. It's kind of like.
But what if you were? Like maybe they would actually be gagging for it.
But I also like recognize this was a completely different time in my life. But it is very similar to like when you do come out and you're around your family and you're kind of like, you're a little bit more
reserved. We got really lucky. You and I are very lucky people.
We're very, very lucky people. But it is like very similar to feeling like you have to play an act. Like you're showing up professional, but being professional doesn't mean not being yourself.
But like, I'm just like, because I feel like for some people now, I'm thinking about some gays I know who are like really buttoned up, and like, I'm like, girl, like like it's okay, you can relax. And like they may have like gotten out of college, started working in like an intense like a law firm or some shit, and of course they're never gonna they don't know any other life. You and I like came out, moved in together into Brooklyn, worked from home, spent all our time together, and made a podcast. So we have been given full reign to be ourselves,
for sure. And I would say professionalism. I wouldn't say professionalism is out necessarily. I think that there's obviously some layers. Like I wouldn't curse in the word. I wouldn't be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Right? Like
all the time.
See, I wouldn't. I would be more, I'm less professional here. Obviously on this podcast, I'm saying I'm dropping an F-bomb every 5 seconds, but I still would keep a layer of that while still being myself. I was doing high kicks in the office. And everyone was like, get it.
I was like sharing a vape with people at my table at my workplace.
Yeah.
And I actually, famously, I think I've told this story before, but when I broke up with my first boyfriend, it was 2 months into my last job. And I hadn't really like broken that seal yet of being like myself. And I remember walking into the office with 4 shots of Casamigos bottles and doing them at my desk before I left work. And that was... Yeah, I mean, in retrospect, I was doing shots at my desk at my company.
Yeah.
But everyone, like, that was the moment where everyone was like, oh, now we know who you are.
Yeah. I mean,
it was after 6 p.m.
Yeah, of course. I chugged a Four Loko in the bathroom of my corporate office.
Somehow you always have to one-up me. You always have to be worse.
No, it's because it's like you reminded me that I did do that. Yeah, I chugged. You know, like the gold ones, like they're a little bit extra.
Why did you do that?
I think it was like one of the first company parties where the people were like going downstairs to the bar in the first floor, and
they were like, served Four Loko at the bar.
No, I brought them in.
All right, that makes sense.
Professionalism.
Yeah, but you say it's in. Professionalism is in for you, but you're bringing Four Lokos to the office.
Yeah.
Hi guys, my name is Marissa. And I've called probably 2 times before this, but I just love you guys. And my Pride Month question is, so this doesn't, I guess, have to do with Pride Month, but just in general, who is your guys' like least favorite character in a movie or TV show that they made into someone who is gay or just a part of the LGBTQ community, because I know like they do such a bad job with representing those characters. Like, that's their whole personality, and they don't give them any other character arc besides that. So I'm just curious as to, like, what's your guys' opinion on that? And yeah. Okay. Love you guys.
I feel like the most...
It's a really great question.
Yeah, it is a great question. And I feel like the number one answer I could possibly give is Shay Diaz.
Oh.
Like, that's the easiest answer. And it's also, like, the most recent example, I feel like. And the thing about Shay Diaz, though, is it makes me really sad for Sarah Ramirez, who, like, is such a talented actor, to, like, go down in history as the most, like, cringe non-binary character on television. Like,
yeah.
And it's such a clear sign of, like, who was in that writer's room making that show. But that whole character was just like, I'm non-binary and I lick pussy. And that was like
I munch on box.
Yeah, like every single scene was just like, they, them. Like, and it just like, we all didn't buy into it because of how inauthentic it was. And I like Sarah Ramirez is non-binary. Like that person who played that role had to like play a caricature.
No, because we're trying to say
we're saying too many things. A caricature of themselves.
They need to change that one.
Yeah. A caricature of themselves.
I can't.
Too many
syllables. I can't.
But yeah, I just feel like, and then I mean, like they tried to fix it in season 2, and now they're off the show in season 3.
Do you think that Sarah Ramirez like had a problem with the character?
I'm pretty sure they talked about it afterwards. Definitely season 2, like they tried to rectify it, which I kind of felt was like backlash from the audience, but also definitely Sarah Ramirez being like, we need to make this character like a real person.
Yeah.
But the groundwork for them was so annoying that it just never worked.
Sometimes we do forget that there is a writer's room, and that person on screen doesn't represent what, like, I'll watch a movie and I'm like, they were horrible.
Right.
But then I'm like, no,
they were working with what they were given.
Yeah.
And for Sarah Ramirez, like, yeah, they have like Grey's Anatomy money, but also like they have to work.
Yeah.
And like playing a non-binary character in Sex and the City is like a massive opportunity. And then for the character to be shitty, like, this does not reflect Sarah Ramirez.
No, not at all.
But it's very unfortunate.
I'm trying to think if there's any other gay characters I've seen that I'm just like,
I'm sure there's a million.
It's not coming to my head, but that was perfect.
Yeah.
Angelica
Thanks, Marissa.
Pickles.
You think Angelica? Well, I'm not going to actually get into that because those are children.
You're right. Well, I would like to see where she's at today.
All Grown Up.
All Grown Up.
Remember that one?
I do.
Remember All Grown Up?
I do.
Rugrats All Grown Up?
But like, they grew up real quick.
I don't know if they grew up real quick.
Did they not?
They may have grown up real quick in our eyes,
You're
but
right.
that show was on like when our siblings were kids.
Yeah.
And then All Grown Up came out when we were like in like middle school, like late elementary school. I was gagged when they were all grown up.
I was gagged finding out that Tommy Pickles was played by a woman.
It's been getting warm out, my schedule's getting busier, I'm having less and less time to prepare my own meals. But thank God, Factor is here to save the day with their no prep, no mess meals.
Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. So no matter how busy you are, you'll always have time to enjoy nutritious, great tasting meals.
Make today the day you kickstart a new routine. The joy in Factor to me is getting to pick something new every single week. It's like a surprise unboxing to me because obviously my short-term memory is shot. So it's really exciting to see what former me has picked out this week.
And honestly, I'm someone who loves a restaurant, but you get those restaurant quality meals that feature premium ingredients like filet mignon, shrimp, and blackened salmon. What else could you ask for? My favorite meal so far has been the chimichurri filet mignon and shrimp because when I received it, I was gagged. I couldn't even believe that was sent to me, and then I could make it in 2.5 minutes, and it tasted beyond my expectations.
Head to factormeals.com/goodchildren50 and use code goodchildren50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month.
That's code goodchildren50 at factormeals.com/goodchildren50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active.
Hi, podcast. My name is No, I won't say my name. But my they, them, silly boots question is, related to pride stuff, is, why did I not inherit, like, being, like, clean and, like, having good fashion advice along with all the other, like, gay traits, right? So, like, if I'm gay, like, why am I not, like, fashionable? And, like, why am I so messy? Like, well, like, in both senses of the word, right? I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on that? Do some gay people just have, like, better luck with that? Like, in the genetic pool? I don't know if this makes sense, but thank you.
The genetic pool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like we hold on, like, I know for myself, I'm also a pretty messy person. I'm not going to lie, right? Like, I'm not
You're
like,
messy?
well, I'm not tidy.
No.
I wouldn't say I'm necessarily
clean.
Messy could be extreme. I'm just a mess.
Don't say that about yourself, Andrew.
I'm just a mess.
No.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you and all you've done and how far you've come.
Thank you.
Don't cry. Don't keep crying.
Okay. Sorry for the listeners at home that had experienced that. No, I would say that I wouldn't say it's
at this point. It's like we're just playing a practical joke on everyone watching this podcast or listening to it.
It's just fun. It's fun that way because they out of nowhere I'm just hysterically sobbing. I don't necessarily think it's genetic. I think that we hold on to some traits of like, you know, men. I feel like I was surrounded. Not that my brother was like a little bit messy growing up too. And then that was just like typical. It was like, oh, my mom's going to clean my room. Like, it's one of those things.
I also got canceled for this on TikTok last year for saying this, but like gay people don't have good style. Like, it's just like a lie. Like, it's just like something that like, it's the velvet rage of it all. It's like, we have to be the best at everything. And like, people also like just like see gay people and they're like, you're so fashionable because like, you're not dressed like shit every single day or like not wearing a jersey to school. And like, you like have interests. So maybe that's what it is. But like, I wouldn't consider most gay people I know fashionistas. I really wouldn't. Like, I think that we care about what we're wearing in the way that maybe straight men have their clothes bought for them by like their moms and girlfriends and wives. So maybe that's part of it. It's like we're actually going out and buying things and caring about it. I think we interact with the world in a more feminine way. At least some gay men interact with the world in a more feminine way when it comes to like shopping and dressing yourself. But it's kind of like, I think at the end of the day, like anyone could be a mess. It's like, do we expect all women to be like fashion forward?
No.
I know plenty of messes and I love them for it.
And we've had this conversation too when it comes to like, we're moving into a new place and I'm like trying to help or I'm trying to design what I want my bedroom to look like. But I'm somebody who like, I have a curated sense of style on my with clothes. You
kind of do have a very defined sense of style.
I do. But when it comes to like doing a room or something like that, like I'll look at you, and this is where I have the dialogue in my head. I look at your room and I'm like, I must have just not gotten those skills as a gay man to like develop a space that like is a little bit more queer, is like fun, I can feel good in. Like mine's very like what you would expect home goods straight man to be.
My room's queer? What about my room is giving queer?
What do you mean?
My room is queer?
I would say your room is like...
Can you give me an example?
Queer as folk.
What's an example?
I just think that like you're more playful with like colors, even though it's pink. It's like your stuffed animals, like the pink, the greens, the stuffed animals,
the
Lindsay Lohan, the Taylor Swift, the everything,
the pink bedding.
It all comes together.
The butterflies.
Yeah, the butterflies out of nowhere, like the little mushrooms coming from the wall. Like I understand. It is like whimsical to it, and I think that that's what.
But I'm just kind of like picking things I like.
Exactly, and that's what I've learned with style is like, yeah, I'm really impressionable, and I see people on the street, and I'm like, maybe I'm a creep because I like, will be like, I'll take a picture, and I'm like, I need to look for these things, or like I feel confident in this or whatever. But it is, you'll slowly gather your sense of style, but every single person has a different sense of style.
Right.
You know, somebody who's wearing a tight jean and a Chelsea boot who feels like they're serving, they are serving. They are serving. They're confident.
They're serving boot.
Yours boots down.
Hi, good children. This is Valerie, and this is a question for both Joe and Andrew. I'm not sure if you guys are going to get this. If not, it is completely fine. This is like someone related, but I've been binging all of your podcast episodes. Listen to it on the flight. You guys are amazing. But my question is, what advice do you guys have for masc lesbians? I don't know if you guys are well versed in that, but that's just what I'm going through, and I just feel like it's a very hard community to navigate. So thank you. Have a great day. Love you guys.
Valerie.
I
know. How can you not? Why don't you come on over, Valerie?
That's that Amy Winehouse effect.
That's that Naya Rivera effect. I also Amy Winehouse. I'm sorry.
Two signs of the cross. Everyone listening.
Yes.
Well, when it comes,
can you tell me your advice for masc lesbians? And I don't want you to think about it. I just want you to speak from the heart.
Okay. I think that you both need to cut the shit, because we need to like get directly to how you're feeling and have a conversation about the fact that you're attracted to each other. You know,
where is this coming from for you?
I think that I'm also learning. Listen, I'm not necessarily masc for masc. I'm just trying to learn how to talk to another gay man. So this is how I'm processing, and I need to cut the shit. And I need to just start saying to the other person how I'm feeling. And I feel like I might not know the dynamic for masc to masc, and I can only assume it is actually really difficult but it's different in the gay community, because I think it's almost easier for masc to masc people to be like, yeah, let's go, as opposed to masc and feminine. Wouldn't you say?
I think I don't have to be on this podcast anymore. I just kind of want you to just talk.
Because masc women and feminine women, I feel like I don't have a lot of feminine lesbian friends, but like my femme lesbian friends.
Do you have any masc lesbian friends? Why not?
I do as well. They're in relationships with a feminine lesbian woman. So I've only really seen that dynamic. So I can only assume that seems to be a little bit more streamlined for lesbians, and I can only imagine masc for masc is harder. It's kind of like it is like femme for femme in the gay community.
Yeah, I guess it kind of is like that. Yeah, Valerie, I wonder if there's a podcast besides I keep listening to Good Children, but I have to wonder if there's like a masc lesbian podcast, because I hear there's not a lot of masc lesbians.
Or it's a dying maybe not a masc lesbian podcast, but it could be just a lesbian podcast.
I mean, like my first thought was
Happy Life.
Oh yeah, actually that's a great option. You know, I also feel like anything Dason is talking about feels like it probably is always applicable to anyone.
True. I'm sorry for you, Valerie. We don't really have that much input on it, but I do believe, again, if you're feeling a certain way about another masc lesbian, and you won't know until you talk to them.
Sure.
So let's get you out to those masc lesbian bars. I don't know what to say.
Hey, Joe and Andrew. My name is Sydney, and I'm calling because I'm moving in with my girlfriend soon. Her name is Cassie, and she is also a Good Children listener. So, hi, Cassie. And we've been long distance for 4 years now, and we are so ready to be in the same space. As well, we've both kind of had our fair share of not so great roommates, but we have a lot of the same expectations for co-inhabiting a space. But my question for y'all is, what advice do you have for living with someone you love? And I know, Joe and Andrew, that your love is just platonic, but I feel like you both still have some really good advice. Anyways, I hope to hear from you guys soon. Thank you. I love you guys.
Hi, Sydney.
Hi, Sydney and Cassie. I actually love her.
Yeah, something about her diction was so incredible. I felt like she was reading us like a Mary Oliver poem.
It was comforting. And in that moment, I kind of saw my seat at the wedding.
Yeah. Andrew, and I saw Sydney and Cassie watching Good Children together in their new home, and I was like, that's so sweet for them. That's so sweet for them.
And it's such a huge win for us all that they're after 4 years.
However, do we lose a stream? You guys can't be moving in with friends who listen.
Yeah,
your partners, anything. You can't do this anymore because we actually lose a stream.
I lose a stream. Even think about that.
Sucks.
You know what could be really good now that you brought that up? I think that if you have if you have a laptop, if you have a TV,
you're gonna get people to start stream farming the podcast.
Yeah.
Get 18 iPhones up and press play on all of them at the same time.
But that's only if you live with another Good Children listener. I do believe that it's just we're just doing due diligence.
Yes, come on. And to make it back to Sydney and Cassie here, I so appreciate this question, and I do feel like we have definitely learned in many ways how to live with somebody you love.
I think what it is, and I in a relationship, I you know what? We are in a relationship.
We've been in a long-standing relationship.
It's allowing the other person to have personal time without thinking that there's anything to it.
I know. I even think about that with the potential of moving in with Ross one day. Yeah. I'm like, because especially if you guys are long term, that means that when you are together, you're spending every waking moment together, obviously. And even just being long distance from Bushwick to Bushwick with Ross, it's like if he's over, it's not like I'm spending some of my time in the living room and he's in my bedroom. Like wherever he is, I am. Wherever I am, he is. Like, so. And the same with you. I feel like when we first lived together, it was whatever you were doing, I was doing, and vice versa. Even when we would like go out, it'd be like, okay, well, if you're leaving the apartment tonight, I have to leave the apartment tonight.
Yeah.
So I think, boundaries, like physical space boundaries are really important and don't need to feel like it's not a bad thing if someone like needs their physical space.
But it's having that conversation too. I think
it's being open. It's literally addressing it right away.
Because then it's like, why are you going in the room?
Yeah.
Why can't you stay out here with me? But I think that with you both moving in, obviously you've had so much personal space, even if you're like texting or FaceTiming or whatever. But it's like when you get into that new space to be like, you know, if I'm going into the room, it has nothing to do with you. If I'm going out one night and you're not coming, you if you love somebody, you let them just be.
Yeah.
You know, and the rest will fall into place.
Hey guys, my name is Alex, and I literally just graduated from college in Boston. So I don't know why you guys love that city so much, because I fucking hate it here. But my question is more on the serious side and kind of goes back to the Bathtub Patreon episode about presenting less queer after coming out. As I'm entering the workforce, hopefully soon, someone please hire me. I'm conflicted about how outwardly queer I can and or should be at work. I want to be who I am, but I'll be in STEM, so it's not like BuzzFeed where everyone's gay. How do you guys feel about presenting queerness in the workplace, and what advice do you have for navigating that? Thanks and love you. Bye-bye.
Oh, I love you, Alex.
Alex, you're incredible.
That was such a sweetly presented voicemail. This goes into the first question that we answered about, or the second question about professionalism in the workplace, and it literally is exactly what we talked about, how we can't really understand it because we were working at like places like BuzzFeed and EF, where it was kind of like, go be gay, girl, be the gay queen.
The thing about EF though is like, I was in sales for travel, so there was something inherently gay about that. Just like the men that were there were gay, probably more of them than not, but like the company as a whole, I wouldn't say was predominantly gay men. So I still felt like by showing up, people would show up dressing however the hell they wanted to dress, and maybe it was an environment
working in STEM.
But I also think to that point,
there's plenty of gay scientists.
There's so many gay scientists, but also like what we said before, show up
There's so many gay scientists. Name 3. I'm sorry. Oh my god.
Yeah.
3 gay science teachers in our middle school.
Middle school, all gay.
All gay. You're fine.
You're so fine. Again, it's about you feeling comfortable. Yeah. I think that if anybody in STEM or any place that you were going to be hired was going to say anything about you showing up as your queer self, I don't believe that they're gonna win the argument here.
Yeah, so, that's true.
I hate to be that person, but it's about if you feel comfortable. You might feel uncomfortable at the beginning because you might be the only person that is being
outwardly
yourself,
but you'll soon find the fellow queers.
It's going to inspire so many people around you to be themselves as well.
Well, actually, that is a good point. I mean, I know that Alex made the point. I made the point earlier that working at BuzzFeed, it was kind of easy, but I worked at BuzzFeed with my friend Francesco, who was like, at that point, the only like other gay person I really knew besides you and Frank. So Francesco, and like I remember meeting Francesco, and like he was obviously gay, and I was like immediately threatened because I was like, oh, he's gay, like he like is gay and like comfortable with it, and I'm not. So for like the first 6 months, we became friends instantly, but like we were each other's like sounding board for queerness. And then he revealed to me like 6 months into our friendship that he hadn't come out before meeting me. He was looking at me the same way I was looking at him as like, oh, look at this person who's being gay in the workplace who makes me comfortable being myself. And like neither one of us was, we were both looking at each other for that. So you will find people who will make the thing that you're doing more comfortable. Yeah. And maybe, who is to say, maybe you'll also help them, exactly to your point.
Yeah. And again, maybe don't show up in like a little skimpy top with little booty shorts. Like,
I don't know why you're so conservative.
I mean, I don't know. I guess there's still a layer of professionalism to me, but like show up in any fashion sense that you want to show up in. Anything.
But not a skimpy top and booty shorts.
I mean, I would probably show up to this podcast wearing that. So yeah, you know what? If you're working in stem cell research, sure, go for it. And if you want to show them this clip, by all means. And Alex, I just want to say to your point, I do have a really complicated relationship with the city of Boston, but I can recognize as a gay man who lived in Boston, it is not the city. So I understand your hatred for the city as well. For sure.
You make me hate Boston.
Yeah, listen to Renee rap.
Hi, it's Swift again. It's Empathy Bitch, but my real name's Swift. Also, I guess I'm just wondering how the butt plug journey is going. I want to say thank you and I love you for the butt stuff representation. As a woman, me and butt stuff go deep. So if anything, just want to encourage that. When Joe said he got Andrew butt plugs for his birthday, when Joe made you guess Andrew, I immediately out loud said butt plugs. And I'm very happy for you. I have a feeling I have the same set, or at least something similar. And okay, happy butt stuff, Pride. Love y'all. Don't want to leave you hanging with the freaky stuff because women do butt stuff too. Okay, bye.
Swift, hearing your voice is crazy.
It's amazing.
It's been like years.
And what's crazy, saying butt stuff goes deep.
Butt stuff goes deep.
Yeah, and it does. And I think it's really beautiful that, I mean, as a woman, you are also just comfortable talking about your butt stuff. I think that, like,
because there is such a shame around it. I mean, obviously, and maybe a little bit rightfully so.
Yes.
But the more you chat,
the more that you're open about it, especially with your friends in private conversations. Like, it doesn't need to be on a high grossing,
most streamed
worldwide
podcast. 16 million listeners a week. Yeah.
It doesn't have to be that way, but that's where it found us. But like, even in your own private conversations with other girlfriends, guy to girlfriends, whatever, it's like, it's really not that. When you let the wall down a little bit and you can talk about it, it's really beautiful, because I wouldn't have gotten to a point where Joe bought me butt plugs if I never talked about my struggle. I was going to say my tight hole. But I did, and I said it.
You make me hate Boston. Yeah. No, it's true. I do feel like I got you a dildo really early on in your coming out journey.
You did. It was almost
I did that for a lot of people. Like, a gift I love to give people is a sex toy, because sometimes you won't buy it for yourself.
And it was like it wasn't a beginner.
No.
And you took me from 0 to 100.
Because I feel like you were like you came out and you were like, I need the.
And I think that when I came out, I was getting the.
I know, I am sure. But butt plugs.
We definitely have the same set. It's definitely like the intro set.
Yeah, it's the intro. It's like, I don't know. I honestly don't think I have the same thing as you.
No. How is it going
bigger,
for me?
Bigger.
Yeah, there's 3.
Yeah.
How's it going for me? I've definitely made it to level 2 so far.
You've been doing it?
Yeah. I've done it, I'm not going to lie, maybe twice.
That's a lot of times in like a month.
Maybe twice.
Yeah, that's still a lot.
I'm working my way back up to it, and it's so crazy because, you guys, I used to be getting it down. When I moved to Brooklyn, I was having an amazing time as solely a bottom. And now it's like crazy that I am only on level 2 of the butt plug journey.
I know, but that's fine.
It's fine. No, but I think it's a beautiful conversation. I think that also, if you're listening with your boyfriends, girls, and I know that you are. I recently was stopped on the Long Island Railroad.
It happens pretty frequently.
By a boyfriend.
Yeah.
Being like, oh my God. I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah, the boyfriends are tuning in, which I find really sweet.
It's really sweet.
And that's kind of how you know you have a keeper.
I completely
that's my advice to a straight girl. If you want to know if your boyfriend's the one, make him watch Good Children.
And if he laughs, amazing. If he says anything about our vocal fry,
anything derogatory at all about us,
yeah,
even just like casual criticism of like something we said if he corrects us,
yeah.
If we said some fact that's wrong and your boyfriend said that's not right, you gotta get rid of him.
And if he says like those two can get it,
keep
him
and send him Andrew's way
and DM me.
Hi, good children. I have a question. I was getting coffee recently, and I was walking my dog to the coffee shop, and I was by myself, and so I had to tie my dog up on the post outside the coffee shop. When I went inside, there was a married couple standing waiting for their coffee, and the husband looked at my dog and was like, oh my gosh, can I go out and say hi to your dog? So I said, yeah, sure. And so he went out there, and I was standing there next to his wife, and she looked over at me and said, is that a boy dog or a girl dog? I said, he's a boy. She goes, oh, I think you just turned my husband gay. And I said, what? She goes, no, he really is into your boy dog. I think you just turned him gay. And so I guess my question is do you think that my dog has the power to turn people gay? Thanks.
That man is into pup play.
That's your immediate takeaway. Your immediate takeaway.
The fact that she even said that to me is
homophobic
and
a red flag for her and her husband.
Yes, correct.
Because it's like maybe your I feel like I'm sorry.
Your husband being
if your go-to thought when your husband is petting a dog is that a girl dog or a boy dog?
And if it was a girl dog, she'd be like, oh, thank God.
Fine, it's fine. He's still attracted to me.
I'm sorry, like he's gonna fuck the dog?
Is that what's happening here?
Why is she saying that?
Can you imagine being this listener? Can you imagine being this person who called in? Imagine just like I want to know what you said back after that. Actually,
were you like, probably? Well, let me know.
I think I would just laugh.
Yeah, I would do an uncomfortable.
Well, he's a flirt.
I would say, well, it did it to me.
What?
What?
You would say the dog turned you gay? I want to see a picture of the dog.
I know.
Is it a very attractive dog?
I can't believe that conversation.
I just love that question. I just love the way it was told. I think
that your dog probably can. Yeah. I think if that's the case.
Well, it's kind of a slippery slope. Like, I'll never forget seeing the animated film Spirit with the horse.
Stop this.
What
were you going to say?
I just remember being a little bit gay for that. But for Spirit, everyone knows Spirit's attractive. It's not like a furry thing. Like, everyone agrees they want to fuck that horse. He's a very handsome horse.
Okay.
It's like the same as like The Lion King.
Mufasa.
Mufasa I never found hot, but maybe that's just because he dies really so early on.
Yeah, he dies really early, but like sometimes you like those. What? Sometimes the ones with I need to stop my thought before I say it out loud. Yeah.
Okay, so I just graduated college, and I don't live there just yet, but I'm about to be there for like 7 days in June, and then I moved July 1st. And so the first question is, Is there anything going on in that week that you guys like think would be really fun to go to in Brooklyn? 'Cause I'm looking around. I think I'm going to go to the show at Elsewhere on the 6th, and then I'm going to Gov Ball. So if there's anything like surrounding those events, I would love to know. But extending past that, just like any distant trips for Brooklyn
halfway
in general,
into this conversation.
I think I'm moving to Williamsburg, and I'm just like not sure what exactly is going on around there. And I've just been listening to this since like episode 2, and so like you guys provided a lot of offhanded guidance, whether you realize it or not, in terms of like moving to New York. And so I am kind of curious if there are any explicit tips or tricks that you wanted to give. But thank you guys so much.
Sometimes I fail to realize that like we talk so much about New York.
It's
like,
really pretty much every episode.
Who are in a place where they're like thinking about where to live or anything. Like
we give a lot of, I mean, we don't, and it's not necessarily always positive.
No, we're talking about the shit dragging on the side of the streets in Williamsburg, but there he goes.
I feel like some ideal things to do if you're visiting New York this summer. I would make sure I get on that damn ferry. Get on the ferry for $2.75.
Get on the ferry for $2.75, and if you want a drink, get a drink.
Get a drink on the ferry and ride the ferry as long as it goes, and then ride it back. It's a wonderful way to see all of New York City for $2.75. Ferry costs $4.
Could not agree more.
Get on the ferry, walk the bridge, walk as much as you possibly can. If you're in Williamsburg, you could walk for hours. And be entertained. And be enthralled by the city around you.
Go around and count how many coffee shops there are.
What are some important things that you would say you must do for like a gay coming to Brooklyn?
A gay coming to Brooklyn.
I mean, there's the obvious ones. Like there's like the clubs.
There's the clubs. I mean, like it depends on what you're looking for. You know,
if you want to, I guess really briefly, casual drinks, outdoors,
Exley, Animal.
Animal, I haven't been yet.
Yeah, it's fun during the day or like on a weekend. There's an outdoor space, especially in the summer. It's gonna be beautiful. It's big.
I gotta get there.
Yeah, the outdoor space is really nice. The bar itself is also really cute. It gets crazy at night because there is a dark room every single day. That's like a little bit more public dark room. So it's definitely drawing different crowds from all over New York. Yeah, I think you're young too, so it's like Rosemont. The backyard, like
my god,
I'd be like 22 years old and going to New York and being like, I'm gonna go to the Rosemont.
Stop.
You know,
that was me.
Exactly. So I mean, and then also ago. Like, again, it's up to you how you want to live it, but there's also like the gay boats, the things like that. If you're looking for something really, really gay, but otherwise, I would just say like.
There's also like there's so many parties. Around. There's like poppy juice. There's bubble tea. Like there's a lot of different things depending on like your tea and who you are. Obviously, all the drag.
All the drag in Brooklyn. Like you can literally go any single night that you wanted to
and see a drag show.
And they're all going to be.
And I kind of think I mean, maybe it's because I'm going to drag shows with my boyfriend, so it's like easier. But I feel like I've met so many people at drag shows. Like that's like the most organic way to make friends is like through like going into like the real nightlife scene.
Yeah. Is it a requirement to be non-binary? Is it a requirement to have an ugly haircut? Because I feel like all I ever do is have an ugly non-binary haircut. Thank you.
I'm right there with you. I think I am the king. I am the queen. I'm the majesty, actually, of ugly non-binary haircuts. I've been there. I've been around the block. I think it's important to challenge your queerness in all ways, and I think that starts on the head.
Yeah.
It starts with the hair.
It does.
Hi, Andrew and Joe. My name is Lane. I have a question, and I feel like maybe you guys have said a little bit about this before on the pod, but it's just on my mind coming into Pride Month. I'm a gay trans man, and I like something about the gay culture is like gay man culture is just like very like it feels like competitive. I don't know if you guys can relate to that, but my question is how do I not care so much about these cis men finding me attractive? I don't know if that has something to do with validating my gender or what, but I like I like all types of people, but for some reason I feel like to be validated, I need like a cis man to like think I'm hot or think I'm cute. And also it's the like gay culture is just very much like hookup culture. So I'm like, well, if I'm not doing that, then like, am I not accepted in the community? It's kind of weird. Any advice that you guys have on that? Thank you. Love the pod.
Hi, Lane.
Hi, Lane. Love you.
I mean, I think you're making a bunch of really valid points. I feel like, I mean, obviously we can't speak through your lens about the experiences, but even through our lenses, I feel like it can feel really invalidating when you're like not being like literally even acknowledged sometimes when you walk into a room. Like, I feel like that happens just in gay spaces. I do think that comes from anxiety so much of the time, that people are standoffish and ignore you. But I mean, in terms of like the validation from being wanted by cis men, like I can only presume that that's not gonna be like the validation you need. Like, I think that you need to not but how do I even tell you that you do not care so much about what cis men think? But like, it is like, men suck. You know what I mean?
I mean, I spend so much time caring about what other men think. There's always competition within the gay community. It's like always on to the next one. Where can my eyes wander? Who, like, oh my God, look at him. No, but him. So it's like when you can get out of, I even feel competitive, right? Like, I sometimes think that way too. I feel like that's the way that like cis men's brains sometimes go. And it's hard to be able to say like, don't worry too much about it, because I still worry about it too. I'm trying to say the same thing to myself.
I've never really experienced any of that.
Yeah. I mean, I think everybody has a unique, but it is definitely that is happening, you know?
I feel like for me, I don't know, I've always been very self-fulfilled in like who I choose to surround myself with. Like, no matter what the case is, like if I'm in a relationship, if I'm fucking, if I'm not, like, as long as I'm around people who bring me joy, I've never really felt this like longing for like strangers' approval or strangers' acceptance. So when I'm at my happiest, it's like I'm around the most people that align with like my vibes and like who I feel are like people I want to be around. So if that's friends, if that's family, if that's a relationship, like that's what it is. And I feel like that is the goal. It's like, if you're going to be even in those like extremely cis, like crazy spaces where it feels like everything's a game, it's like if you can be there with your friends and know that like you're going home with someone no matter what, you know, you can go, like you and I had gone to so many, especially in our like mid 20s, like we go to so many gay places where we didn't feel like we belonged, and we never went home alone. Like we went home together, got food, and had a good night. Like, and then we would go into our own rooms and manically jerk off and then go to sleep
or eat Taco Bell.
Well, that would happen beforehand, and then it was. You feel like the sequence of events was leave, order the Taco Bell, get home, shower, or put on our little pajamas, eat the Taco Bell, say good night, close our doors,
have the time of my life.
I'll never forget. Do you remember Halloween 2022?
Why no? Were we like crazy?
Maybe it was Halloween 2020. We went to what's it called? That hellscape outside nowadays.
Yes.
And we both came home. We were both so horny, and we were like, it was like a day drink.
It was
it was the middle of the day, and we both had to be like, let's just give each other 15 minutes, and we'll meet back out here for the rest of the day. Like, that's when you know. But like, that's the thing. Like, we were both like alone.
Yeah.
But we still have like it wasn't like a miserable day as a result, and I didn't feel isolated.
Yeah,
because like,
get out
I
of
had my
seeking
friends.
attention and the validation. It's a slippery slope for sure.
And we had each other who understood exactly each other's experiences our whole lives.
Yes.
Where like, if you're a gay trans man, like having other gay trans men who see life through your lens,
it's really important.
It's kind of all you need.
Yeah, it is.
Well, Andrew, it's been a pride.
It's been, I would definitely say it's been a pride. It's been beautiful.
It will continue to be a pride for the next couple of weeks.
And I'm going to be celebrating.
I'm going to be celebrating as best as I can.
Yeah, confident.
Yeah.
I'm going to be celebrating knowing a little bit more who I am this year than I did the last.
And I feel like I've I've looked at Pride for so many years as like a benchmark for where I'm at in my queerness and my gay storyline, and like I've always looked to be accepted by people who maybe will never accept me, and realizing that that's not what it's all about at all, and that anger and that frustration that comes with that like is useless, because at the end of the day, like I can hang out with my girls and my gays and crack up, hit a little every once in a while, drink a little wine, and crack up,
and have the time of your lives,
and go to anonymous sex parties,
and not a care in the world,
and be happy,
and that's beautiful. And the people that out there that stay hating, you know what they have in common? They're not happy.
They're miserable.
They're miserable people,
and everybody knows.
If this episode is helpful in your coming out and you feeling, you know, more confident in your queerness, if that means putting yourself out there a little bit more, whether that's online, in public, anything, know that if you experience any of those haters in any facet, you can read right through their bullshit.
You can. It's so, I mean, you always have us girls here, no matter what. Literally no matter what. And actually, just to close this one out, where is that voicemail from last week?
Hi, Andrew and Joe. This is Bailey. I'm calling because I love your podcast, and I've been binging it lately. And I got to an episode where you're talking about coming out and being honest with, you know, yourself and the people around you. And I like physically could not finish the podcast episode. It totally sent me into a crisis, and I ended up coming out to my parents. And it went really well, like way better than I could have expected. Like it was like Heartstopper good, like especially for like Christian conservative parents. So it went so well that I was like, why didn't I do this 10 years ago? Like I'm 25. Like what am I doing? And so my question is like, how do you grapple with those feelings of like time lost almost, and like what could have been? Thank you. Thank you for helping me come out. I'm not sure if that's the point of the podcast, but or maybe it is. Maybe you're like, in Q4 we got 4 bisexuals to come out, and well, you got one more. So thank you.
Bailey.
It really just puts into perspective what we're doing sometimes that we fail to recognize.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, I've also been really thinking about this lately, about like the high school experience. Hey, Joe.
If you're listening at home, the one of the camera's storage is full. So Andrew is just an inch away from it. I feel like we're on the Drew Barrymore show.
We are. Now. We really are. But I've been thinking about it a lot, as in the high school experience and the college experience, that it was just like, it does make me really sad to think about that I never had what like I'll see on TV. Like Heartstopper, or like listening to people's music, even if they're straight, right? Like with like
Taylor
love
Swift,
stories.
Yeah.
Exactly. It was Taylor Swift that sent me in a spiral, and I was like, you know what? I'm, as almost a 30-year-old man, listening to Love Story, being like, she's singing this when she's in high school about high school romance, and I'm romanticizing what could have been for myself if I came out sooner. But as I said before, that's a slippery slope, and knowing where you're at now and the memories that you can make for yourself, and it's not catching up on time. It's like just allowing yourself to experience it for your firsts for the first time.
You can't go back. You can only go forwards. And that's what we're doing here every single day. I mean, we go back into the retrospect of it all, but we can't change any of it.
No, not at all.
You can just live, laugh, and love, and you came out at the right time. No one comes out too soon or too early, or coming out when you're supposed to come out.
No.
Because who knows, if you came out 10 years ago, maybe the situation would have been more difficult for you.
For sure.
And now it was so amazing and Heartstopper-esque, and that's amazing, and you get to always have that experience. So I don't think you have any time lost.
No.
If anything, you just gained something beautiful.
And you learned a lot along the way.
Yeah.
I'm sure you became very self-aware. And
I've never been more aware of you in my entire life than in this current moment.
No, it's kind of really
seen
nice.
Your skin from this close.
Does it look good?
Yeah, it really does.
Thank you. I've been getting a lot of compliments on my skin lately.
You deserve it because you're glowing from the inside out.
Thank you. That's very sweet. What I'm starting to learn to do in that as well is like, I'm starting to learn not to say "and you too." Not that I don't think that
2 years.
I know, but I was really conscious in that because I believe it about you. But sometimes you don't have to give it right back to the person because it's important to be able to process.
Yeah,
of course. But speaking of fake and speaking of things that you could do,
subscribe.
Don't forget to do your homework, and that's like, comment, subscribe, rate, review. Write a little something sweet for Pride Month. You know what I mean? If we have helped you in any way, if you feel like, you know, your queerness is seen, is heard, is felt, write a little something sweet. Sometimes,
And don't forget to follow us on Instagram follow us on social media across all platforms at Good Children Pod. I'm on Instagram at Joe Hegyes and on TikTok at Be Quiet Joe.
I'm on Instagram at Andrew Muscarella, on TikTok at Andrew_Muskie.
You have such a great side profile. I mean, you haven't really looked up at the camera once, and it's working for you.
Is it amazing?
Yeah, more when you're this way. It's it's incredible. You have Gretchen's statue, you know?
I actually, this is all I needed. Yeah, thank you.
We'll see you every single Friday on Patreon for a brand new episode, $7 a month, exclusive video and audio episode, and access to our community chat, where we really, really got to connect with everyone like Swift, who called in.
Yes. And you know what? This Pride, if you're not celebrating, that's okay. We're celebrating with you.
We've all been there.
We've all been there. And the moment will come. And if you are celebrating, be safe, have fun, and suck in any way that you suck.
That's beautiful.
Thanks.
Found a rainbow, baby, trust me, I know. Life is scary, but just put your colors on, girl. Come and play. What is that?
Play along with me tonight?
Come and play along with me tonight. Hi, 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 hi.